in response to people dying and being led by a bunch of incompetent, loser, privileged white supremacists, Charlie Kirk does his normal thing.
The Democrats, they're so despicable. The Democrats are not lifting a finger to remember the well over 100 people that have died in Texas Hill Country. What you are not being told by the media anywhere is that the death toll likely would not have been as high if it wasn't for DEI. This Texas tragedy is just the latest example. It's not just incompetence. This is DEI working to undermine meritocratic institutions, and more people likely died than otherwise would have because of DEI.
You have to ignore the facts. You have to ignore what I just read about what was going on at CNN reported of the previous years of apparently DEI policies of ignoring using tax dollars to implement a better emergency system. Or I guess you have to rely on DEI policies, which this guy doesn't even know what the hell he's talking about at this point. He's reading a script that someone, I guess, provided him to provide cover for the people responsible for this stuff. What happened to the blame game issue? It sounds like Charlie Kirk is blaming DEI policies that are non-existent that I thought this administration had completely taken care of. Why is this administration dragging their feet on getting rid of DEI policies? Why are they still hanging on to all of these incompetent black and brown folks and women? Why? Why are they still around? I thought they had a commitment to getting rid of DEI on day one. Did they not finish getting rid of all the DEI policies yet, Charlie? Are they still working on it? Who's responsible for not getting rid of all these incompetent DEI hires? I'm just wondering, because they're playing every side of the fence that they can, except for the side that says, my bad, I screwed this up because I don't give a damn about the American people, and I probably shouldn't even be in office. Speaking of DEI hires, the only qualification to be a part of this administration is to be an angry, bloviating white guy who hates everyone around him. So you guys, there's supposed to be this guy, he's supposed to be the head of FEMA. Every time I hear about the head of FEMA, they usually pop up at these locations to talk about what FEMA's doing. The head of FEMA, this guy named David Richardson. He's formerly like a Marine or something. And he yells and barks at a bunch of other folks. And once he got there, he got to screaming at the staffers about what he wants to do for Donald Trump and FEMA. Not what he wants to do for the American people. Check out this DEI hire. He's been in place before Charlie Kirk said that it's DEI issues. So I guess he's one of the DEI hires. Listen to what this guy had to say.
CBS News has obtained exclusive video of Richardson's speech on his first day at FEMA. So take a listen.
I don't need very much authority to get everything done I need to do. I don't need the full title. All I need is the authority from the president to put me in here as some degree of acting, and I will make sure that his intent gets completed. I don't stop at yield signs.
During his address, he told FEMA employees, quote, I and I alone speak for FEMA. He went on to say that he has never read a book on leadership before, but is fine operating in chaos. The former Marine also warned his new coworkers not to get in his way as he works to reform and reduce the size of this agency. Take a listen.
There's somewhere south of 20% that decide that they are going to get in the way of change. You can ask anybody that those 20% of the people are a problem. And they have to be sidelined. So don't get in my way if you're those 20% of the people. I know all the tricks, okay? I know them from lance corporals. I know them from staff sergeants, lieutenants, federal employees, my own employees, and indeed myself, okay? I played the games too. Obfuscation, delay, undermining. If you're one of those 20% of the people and you think those tactics and techniques are going to help you, they will not, because I will run right over you. I will achieve the president's intent.
The president's intent is for him to absolutely Nothing. The president's intent is for your children and your loved ones to die. The president's intent is to take more money from these types of programs and give it to rich people and pocket it himself, and then say that this is the most prosperous, best place that the United States has been in its entire history. That's what the president's agenda is. That's what that loudmouth piece of garbage is talking about, sidelining people that get in his way. Let me tell you what else that this guy is doing. Show me really fast. Look, check this out. He's the agency's acting administrator, and he has not been to the site of one of the nation's deadliest floods in the U.S. in the past 25 years. Doesn't give a damn. This is upending this long practice of FEMA leaders making themselves visible after major disasters, if nothing else, to assess the situation and maybe provide some more assistance and help for people. Former FEMA officials said that Richardson's absence and his lack of public appearances and statements and social media postings, which he's done nothing of the sort, raised concerns that Homeland Security's Kristi Noem is controlling FEMA's response. That's definitely concerning. Noem, who visited the flooded area in Central Texas on Saturday, oversees those 22 agencies, and FEMA is just one of those, and he's doing absolutely nothing. But he wants you to get out of his way because I'm doing Donald Trump's bidding. I'm a tough guy who licks Donald Trump's ass. Okay, tough guy. You got some hairs on your tongue there. Sorry, son of a bitch, man. I'm so tired of these guys, but we keep following behind them. Last thing on this whole FEMA story and the problems that's going on and the continued fallout. This is from back in June. And there was more disasters going on in California, and Donald Trump kept having his battles with Governor Gavin Newsom. There's oddly no battles with Greg Abbott down in Texas right now, but he was having battles with Gavin Newsom out in California because he's upset and he's worried he's going to disrupt his political agenda. So when he was asked about how he sees FEMA dollars going out or any kind of assistance like that, he was asked if it has anything to do with his relationship with this guy and whether or not he'll release those funds.
And with the rail funding in California, will your recent dust-ups with Governor Newsom impact additional wildfire relief out there? They've requested $40 billion.
Sure, maybe. The man's incompetent. You shouldn't have forests like that. You clean the floor of your forest and you won't have any forests. You know, Austria has very, very flammable trees. They don't have forests now because they clean the floors. They maintain their forests. Good, in fact. You know, hatred is never a good thing in politics. When you don't like somebody, don't respect somebody, it's harder for that person to get money if you want something. But he's in jail.
Yes, he has an issue with handing out normal funds that we pay in federal tax dollars to states if he doesn't like the governor of that state. You can't have hatred in politics. If you do, it's less likely that I'll hand out money. That's not your money. This guy thinks he controls everything. It's a matter of whether or not we're going to let him keep thinking that. You know, I mean, these types of stories, I mean, I do it to continue to show you guys the dire situations that we're in behind this this administration, since people don't like to believe the reality that's in front of us, so that then it can turn into action. You know, so it's not just here to complain, but then to turn that into action, because they're making actionable moves every day to destroy your life. All the stuff that they would say their political opponents are doing, they're out to get you. They're going to destroy your life. How much better has your life been since this guy's been in office? Oh, there's a couple few hundred people whose lives are completely upended and turned upside down. In fact, many of them aren't even here anymore because of this guy, directly because of this guy.